Power. It's the force that bends nations, commands loyalty, and silently divides those who lead from those who follow. Most people crave it, but only a few ever understand it. They think power is about money, fame, or influence. It isn't. Power is psychological. It's invisible, yet it shapes everything around you. Machiavelli once wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." And those words, whispered across centuries, still define the rulers of every era, from kings and conquerors to CEOs and social leaders today. But to see power as kings do, you must unlearn everything you've been told about morality, fairness, and control. Because kings don't chase power. They become it. Lesson 1: Power begins where emotion ends. Most people react. Kings calculate. When insulted, the average man argues. The powerful one observes. He asks himself, what can I gain from this moment? Power dies where emotion rules. Those who rule the world master their impulses first. Julius Caesar was betrayed by his own senators, yet he faced them calmly, eyes steady. Why? Because emotion would have given them power. Composure was his weapon. Modern life rewards those who look calm when others lose control. At work, in relationships, in conflict, the one who doesn't react controls the story. Affirmation: I do not react. I respond. My silence is my weapon. Lesson 2: Perception is power. Machiavelli warned, men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. People don't see truth. They see appearance. And kings understand that perception shapes reality. Alexander the Great wore armor of shining silver, not for defense, but for symbolism. When soldiers saw their leader gleaming in sunlight, they followed with divine faith. In the modern world, perception still reigns. The confident voice, the steady eye contact, the way you walk into a room, all whisper one truth: this person cannot be ignored. Power is never about who you are. It's about how you make others feel in your presence. Affirmation: I control how the world sees me. My presence speaks louder than words. Lesson 3: The cold art of detachment. Every ruler, every strategist, every master of power has one thing in common: distance. They stand close enough to influence, but far enough not to be ruled by emotion. Detach from outcomes. Detach from validation. Detach from the illusion of control. In The Art of War, Sun Tzu said, "He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not, will be victorious." That patience, that emotional detachment is what kings master early. When someone provokes you, silence terrifies them more than anger ever could. When you walk away from drama, you show strength others can't understand. Power doesn't chase. It attracts through indifference. Affirmation: I am calm. I am unmoved. I am not controlled by emotion. Lesson 4: Influence is built through mystery. The powerful never reveal everything. Mystery creates curiosity. Curiosity creates attention. And attention is control. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Translation: You owe people less explanation than you think. A king's strength lies in unpredictability. When people can't predict your next move, they fear disappointing you. They adapt to your silence. They fill in the gaps with their own imagination, and that's where your influence grows. Think of Elon Musk's cryptic tweets. Think of how Steve Jobs used silence and timing before announcing any product. That's not luck. That's psychological control. Affirmation: I reveal little. I let curiosity work for me. Lesson 5: Power respects strategy, not speed. In chess, amateurs move fast. Masters move with purpose. The same is true in life. People rush into arguments, business decisions, relationships, seeking quick victories. But kings play long games. Napoleon said, "Take time to deliberate, but when the time for action comes, stop thinking and go in." The powerful plan in silence and strike once with precision. They understand timing is everything. One moment of restraint can rewrite destiny. When you slow down your reactions, you multiply your control. When you master patience, you master outcomes. Affirmation: I move with strategy, not impulse. Every step is calculated. Lesson 6. Use fear, never fall to it. Most people fear disapproval. Kings fear irrelevance. Fear itself can destroy, or it can be used as energy. Machiavelli's warning wasn't cruelty. It was truth. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Why? Because fear creates boundaries, and boundaries protect respect. The one who never demands respect eventually loses it. The one who enforces limits quietly, consistently, becomes someone people think twice before crossing. Fear doesn't mean aggression. It means consequence. It means people know you have standards and you enforce them. Affirmation: I am calm but not weak. My boundaries are non-negotiable. Lesson 7. Power grows in silence. Noise is the enemy of power. The loudest man in the room is often the weakest. Observe those who truly rule. They rarely explain. They rarely justify. They simply decide and let others adjust. Silence builds mystery. Mystery builds respect. Psychologist Carl Jung once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. But silence changes everything. It forces others to project meaning onto you, and those projections often amplify your image far beyond what words ever could." Affirmation: My silence commands attention. My stillness radiates strength. Lesson 8. Power is not given, it's taken. History remembers one kind of person, the one who claimed power. No one gives it freely. Not in politics. Not in love. Not in business. From Machiavelli's Florence to modern boardrooms, the law remains. Power is seized by those who believe they deserve it. When you stop asking for permission, your energy changes. People sense authority in your conviction, not your words. So stop waiting to be recognized. Act as if you already hold the crown, and the world will adjust accordingly. Affirmation: I do not wait for power. I embody it. Lesson 9. Loyalty is a mirage. Machiavelli understood a brutal truth. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. To the powerful, loyalty is never unconditional. It is transactional, built on benefit, fear, or alignment of goals. Kings don't depend on loyalty. They manage it. Look at history. Caesar was betrayed by Brutus. Napoleon was abandoned by allies when his empire began to crumble. Even modern leaders, political or corporate, lose loyalty the moment their power fades. This isn't cynicism. It's realism. The moment people stop needing you, they start forgetting you. So, instead of chasing loyalty, build leverage. Make yourself indispensable. Make your absence felt. That's how kings maintain loyalty, not through affection, but through utility. Affirmation: I do not beg for loyalty. I command it through value. Lesson 10. Emotions are tools, not masters. Imagine a chessboard. Every emotion, anger, compassion, sadness, is a piece. The weak are moved by them. The strong move them strategically. Machiavelli never said emotions are bad. He said they must be controlled. A ruler must appear merciful, faithful, humane, but be ready to act otherwise when necessary. It's psychological theater. Power is performance. You can't always feel calm, but you can look calm. You can't always feel strong, but you can project strength. That illusion alone changes outcomes. In modern terms, when your boss yells, stay composed. When your partner tests your patience, remain still. People remember not what happened, but how you reacted. The person who controls their emotions controls everyone else's. Affirmation: I am not ruled by emotion. I use emotion as my instrument. Lesson 11. The power of strategic kindness. Cold doesn't mean cruel. Machiavelli understood that warmth, when used wisely, can disarm even the most suspicious mind. He wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." Strategic kindness is the art of the fox. This generosity with a purpose. It's empathy with awareness. A gift, a compliment, a moment of mercy, when used deliberately, can turn enemies into allies or lull competitors into comfort. True power balances intimidation with grace, because mercy shown at the right moment magnifies authority. Affirmation: my kindness is deliberate. My empathy is strategic. Lesson 12: control the narrative or be controlled by it. In every era, the powerful have understood one thing: whoever shapes the story shapes reality. Kings commissioned historians to glorify them. Modern leaders hire PR firms, craft public personas, and manipulate media perception. The truth is secondary to what people believe. Machiavelli hinted at this when he wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. If you don't define your image, someone else will. If you don't control your story, the world will invent one for you. So, control the narrative. Speak less, but when you speak, make every word intentional. Craft how people remember you, through consistency, tone, and mystery." Affirmation: I write my own story. No one defines me but me. Lesson 13: power demands isolation. The higher you rise, the lonelier it becomes. That's not a flaw, it's a filter. Machiavelli observed that proximity breeds contempt. Kings are never truly surrounded by equals, because equality and authority cannot coexist. In the modern world, this truth manifests subtly. When you grow, your circle shrinks. When you change, some people vanish. Don't fight it. Isolation refines clarity. It removes noise and replaces it with strategy. As Jung said, loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. Power requires solitude, not to escape people, but to strengthen your thoughts before you return to lead them. Affirmation: my solitude sharpens my strength. I walk alone, but never without purpose. Lesson 14: manipulation is just advanced understanding. The word manipulation carries shame, but only to the naive. In truth, manipulation is the highest form of psychological awareness. It means you see patterns others miss. You predict behavior. You understand what motivates people: fear, pride, desire, insecurity, and use that knowledge wisely. Machiavelli didn't advocate cruelty. He advocated precision. If you know what people want, you can lead them without resistance. If you know their fears, you can control outcomes before conflict even begins. Manipulation isn't deception, it's navigation. It's reading the map of human nature. Affirmation: I do not deceive. I understand, and I act accordingly. Lesson 15: power is energy, not position. Finally, Machiavelli's ultimate lesson: power is not a throne. It's an energy, one that exists in how you carry yourself, how you think, and how you respond to the world. A king without a crown is still a king if his presence commands respect. A CEO without a title is still powerful if his mind bends reality in his favor. True power is invisible, calm, disciplined, detached. It's the quiet certainty that you are in control, no matter where you stand. When you realize that power begins internally, everything external bends to it. Affirmation: power is not something I seek. It's something I embody. You've now seen what most never do. Power is not chaos. It's not dominance through noise. It's the art of control of self, of perception, and of reality itself. But kings don't stop here. They refine these principles until they become instinct, until every move, every silence, every glance radiates mastery. Lesson 16: the power of indifference. To a king, approval means nothing. The world can praise him or curse him. His course remains unchanged. That's indifference, and it's one of the purest forms of strength. When people realize they can't control you emotionally, they respect you subconsciously. Indifference starves manipulation. It denies power to those who seek to provoke. In the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene echoes Machiavelli's insight: never appear too perfect. Indifference keeps you untouchable, because you don't flinch when people misunderstand you, and you don't beg to be seen as right. Kings know silence in the face of judgment is its own kind of dominance. Affirmation: I need no validation. I walk with calm detachment. Lesson 17, never compete. Position instead. Competition is for the insecure. Positioning is for the powerful. When two lions fight over territory, they both bleed. But the wise lion observes, waits, and positions himself where conflict becomes irrelevant. In politics, in business, in life, competition drains energy. Positioning multiplies it. Instead of fighting for attention, create a new space where your presence becomes the standard. Instead of proving yourself to others, move so differently that no one can replace you. This is how kings think. They don't chase the throne, they build one where none existed. Affirmation: I do not compete. I position myself beyond comparison. Lesson 18, power requires ruthless self-discipline. Power without discipline is self-destruction. Every king who fell, Nero, Alexander, even Napoleon, was defeated not by enemies, but by themselves. Their desires grew faster than their control. The moment you lose mastery over your habits, emotions, or vices, you lose control of everything else. Machiavelli hinted at this when he wrote, "He who becomes master of a city accustomed to freedom and does not destroy it, will be destroyed by it." Replace city with impulse, and the wisdom remains timeless. The disciplined one outlasts the brilliant, because consistency, not talent, sustains power. Affirmation: I rule myself before I rule anything else. Lesson 19, power and morality rarely coexist. Here lies the hardest truth of all. To truly see power as kings do, you must understand morality and power are often at odds. The strong do not act cruelly for pleasure, but they understand that survival sometimes demands cold decisions. Machiavelli never glorified evil. He described reality. He saw that leaders who cling blindly to virtue often become slaves to those who don't. Does this mean abandon ethics? No. It means understand when to apply them. Mercy at the wrong time is weakness. Harshness at the right time is wisdom. This duality, this balance, is what separates rulers from dreamers. Affirmation: I remain moral, but never naive. Lesson 20, the law of emotional distance. Every powerful person must master one emotional law. Never get too close to anyone you cannot control, or who can destroy your peace. Emotional distance is not coldness, it's protection. The closer people get, the more leverage they gain. Kings maintain warmth, but with boundaries. Connection without control is vulnerability disguised as love. In modern terms, it's the ability to care deeply while staying immune to emotional chaos. Jung said it best: knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of others. Emotional distance allows clarity, and clarity is power. Affirmation: I connect with wisdom, not weakness. Lesson 21, power demands patience with destiny. Every empire is built in silence before it's seen in light. Kings understand that real change, real transformation, takes time, often years of solitude and struggle. Impatience is the killer of empires. The need for immediate recognition, quick success, instant reward, it's the language of the powerless. The powerful play time itself like a weapon. They let others rush. They let others burn out. And when the noise fades, they move, calm, prepared, unstoppable. Machiavelli would call this the long game of influence. You win not by speed, but by endurance. Affirmation: I trust time. What's mine will arrive in silence. Lesson 22, rule yourself, rule everything. At its core, every Machiavellian truth leads back to this. Power begins inside. If you can rule your thoughts, your impulses, your fears, no external force can defeat you. Every king's first conquest is not a kingdom, but himself. Because the man who masters his inner world automatically reshapes his outer one. In every decision, ask, am I reacting or ruling? Am I chasing or commanding? When you answer with awareness, you rise above ordinary existence. Affirmation: I am the ruler of my inner kingdom. Now you see power as kings do. You've learned that true power isn't loud, isn't desperate, isn't emotional. It's quiet, it's patient, it's strategic. It's the cold calm in chaos, the silence before action. the mind that watches when others react. Power is not granted, it's earned through mastery of self. It's not about being ruthless for cruelty's sake, but precise enough to see when emotion clouds reason. Kings rise because they know what others deny. Control your mind, and the world bends quietly beneath it. So the next time chaos surrounds you, pause, breathe, and remember these words. He who conquers himself is greater than he who conquers 1,000 men. Buddha. Power begins in that stillness, and from that stillness, empires are born.